Hello and welcome, everybody out there in Union Arena and YouTube land. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. We are joined by fourth place JesseB, who piloted perhaps one of the spiciest decks in the top 16, Toshi Kenpachi. Hello, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, it's an honor to be here. Thanks
Uh,
for having me.
s- of course. So, you brought one of the fan favorite decks in all of Union Arena, and you managed to make it all the way up to the final seat playing against the only undefeated, and your only loss of the day was against them on Lancelot. So,
Yep.
I want to walk through why did you choose this deck? I mean, why did you
No.
pick up Kenpachi Toshi and go, this is what we're rocking with?
So I've said in other deck profiles, of course, but Bleach is my favorite anime. There's no secret there, and Kenpachi and Toshiro definitely. Kenpachi. Okay, so I do want to throw out that technically Gin is my favorite Bleach character, but he's never going to get a card in this game for obvious anime reasons. So
Fair enough, fair enough.
Kenpachi, Toshiro, other favorites. And I love the way they're designed in this game. They're in my opinion arguably two of the best raids in the game. Um, but yeah, I just love the deck. It's super fun, splashy, punches really hard, does exactly what I want to do. So
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So, you have a very unique setup for this. You're running 46 triggers, which some people think is
yeah,
light for Kenpachi Toshi. Some people think is low for Kenpachi Toshi, or sorry, high. I personally, I'm in the middle ground where usually when I brew this deck, I'm sitting around like 44, 43. Can you walk me through the ratios that you chose here so that you were set up with this many triggers and still this many bombs?
I like triggers. If it has the word trigger on it, I like it. If it doesn't, I don't like it. That's
Okay.
my so the general philosophy is that triggers are such a core fundamental mechanic of this game that I if it has a trigger on it, I am more inclined to try and make it into the deck, which we'll talk about later with some of the card choices and ratios. But that's like my general philosophy as far as just number of triggers and things.
All right. So, for somebody who's trigger happy, can you walk us through why you have the Yamachika as a two of?
Card is just good, especially with Rangiku. The three cost Rangiku lets me play a two cost or less, and there's very few two cost or less that generate two energy, and he's one that can do it even the turn he comes out when he comes in rested, just by having other names. So yeah, card is just very good. But I just played the two because I never want to see more than one of this card in a game. You just put one on the table, and that's more than good enough for the entirety of the game. And anything else than that, it's basically just a dead card in your hand. In life, it's a dead card in life, obviously, because it doesn't have a trigger. So, two was the perfect number.
Okay. And the only other one you have is personally my favorite card to come out of the Volume 2, the one drop Toshi. Holy cow. This is
Card's kind of nice.
insane. Can you walk us through why 2? Why specifically that number?
Basically the same reason as Yumachika. Not a trigger, and so I have it as two, sort of because a lot of times actually I had to just kind of play it as an early bridge just to get me to my energy levels that I needed to play the game. But it it's a type of card where like you realistically want to see it like kind of mid to even late game when you've actually got the board developed. You've already got a Toshiro raid that's been expended. You can pick it back up. So it's very conditional. And no doubt, the condition did come up several times across the day, and I got to pick up the Toshi raid it on top of that, and then just like either win the game from there or put enough pressure to get closer to it. But yeah, because it's so conditional, two was again the perfect number.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And the last honorable mention, because we did have one Toshi Kenpachi player in the first regionals we had at Gen Con,
Hmm.
and they didn't have any copies of this, I believe, in their deck.
I like my dog.
Sajin Komamoru. Yep. Can you walk us through why you like this card so much?
Can I walk you through why I like my dog? I'll walk my dog real quick. He is stat wise, he is fine. 3/3 double energy is par for the course, I think. Step is super sick. Matchup specific, you could potentially develop it. Like if you go second, for example, you can go like dude, and then dude to 3 energy, play him up front, so that way he gives you a blocker, and then you can swap him back for some of your other guys to push up on the following turn. I never actually got to do that because pretty much I played meta all day, and so like every meta deck has ways to efficiently kill this, and I can't risk him dying because that's just an action point lost for nothing. So I usually just ended up developing on the back line and then slow pushing my guys. But the option is there because of step. Also, the step is if you happen to fight Toto, they always want to target your double energy guys first, and this
Oh
is double
no.
energy again with step, so he'll just step himself back and
I guess I
basically
take two
kind of
damage.
negate the Toto.
Yeah. I guess I take 2 damage. Step back.
Yeah,
I agree. The
and then
card's insane.
he's also an active trigger, so it's basically like Yumachika but with an active trigger and step.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so the other fun of I like to call them that you have in the deck that not a lot of people have been rocking, the
I love Shinji.
Shinji.
Okay, so like he's one of my favorite like what do we call him, like lesser known characters in Bleach, I guess. Like
Yeah.
he has like one of the best theme songs in Thousand Year Blood War. But
Insane one. Yeah.
unrelated to that, to the card game, I mentioned in a different deck profile that he is sort of like my third set of the 2 AP Kenpachi. But I played the one of this because Kenpachi is something that the 2 AP Kenpachi, I need to see it and want to see it early to mid. This is something I want to see mid to late game because the Kenpachi, me spending 2 action points to kill a 4K, not really a great exchange rate. If I'm on 1 life and I need to just like close out the game that turn, it's like a do or die moment. Compared to Shinji, I can play it down, swap one of their 3K or higher to resting, switch him to active. So now I get their 4K blocker out of the way, same thing as Kenpachi, but I'm getting an extra 4K attacker out of the deal too. And that did come up in one of my rounds. I won one of my rounds by playing him out as my 4th attacker, tapping one of the blockers, putting him on 2 blocks with 2 life, and I just had mathematic lethal.
That makes me so happy because out of my boxes, I just accidentally got the old art of him. So good.
I pulled 3 out of my boxes, so don't feel too bad.
Oh, I don't feel bad. I think the art's fantastic. I don't care about the value. I
I
like
do
the
love
cards.
the art.
Yeah. I'm upset I didn't get any Yumachikas.
That's exactly 2.
He's my second favorite character. Kenpachi is my favorite. He's
Yeah.
Mr. Broken Game Mechanics. Who doesn't love him? He's
Oh yeah, he's one of a kind as far as raids.
All right, so very unique deck that you were piloting here. It has a lot of good triggers in it as well. Not just 46 triggers, but it is 7 draw, 4 get, 15 active, and 8
Yes, sir.
raid. And then the typical color special final. Yeah, whatever.
Mhm.
What were your matches? Can you walk us through your match round by round and like how that lined up for you?
Okay, so round 1, I played purple Ichigo Renji. I think it was like a pretty standard back and forth. The biggest thing that came in handy was the 4-cost Kenpachi, not the raid, but the other one that can't be reduced by BP because while she did see, I think, 2 Getsugas over the course of the game, she also just saw a bunch of raids that BP minus, and so the Kenpachi was just a sticky threat for when I finally found the raid at the end. She was at 2 life, and so I got to go raid Kenpachi. He gets damage 2, sack Yachiru to give him impact +1, so I'm repping damage 2, impact 2, and just got to swing guaranteed at the last 2 life, and, thankfully no finals, so that was that game. And then round 2 was Blue JJK, the first one. Very close game, very back and forth game. He ended up raiding like 2 Yujis on me at the end and pushing some surprising damage, but I just was able to close it out, I think with some impact. Round 3 was Blue JJK number 2, which was also the feature match, so we can cover that at a later time, I guess.
Hopefully.
What was it? Yeah, God willing. Round 4 was... Hold on, let me pull up my matchups, my bad. Round 4 was another purple Ichigo Renji, that's right. That was Jane. I got to play Jane. So I actually ended up playing 5 of the people who topped the event. Losing to the winner, of course, but the other 4 I beat. Ended up playing 5 of the top 16 players. So round 4 was Jane, purple, Ichigo Renji. Very well played, but unfortunately for her, I don't think she saw like a single 5-cost Ichigo raid the entire game, and I don't even know if she played a Getsuga or not. So it was just like a really rough. It was a pretty convincing win on my side. Not to disparage her, of course, but it was just very different draws, we'll say. Round 5 was my first Blue Roy Mustang. That was intense for me. He saw like 3 Rizas, 3 Roys, and 3 specials over the course of that game. It was insane.
Wow.
I just barely ended up winning because at the end of it, I put him to like one life, and he only had like two or three things on the front line, so I was able to just kind of push up units and get the last one. It wasn't a final, um, but that was a nail biter for sure. Round six was my last blue Sukuna Nanami for the day. Um, which, by the way, I went first in like pretty much all of my matchups. I went second on the feature match. And I think I might have gone second in one of my other matchups, but I went first otherwise pretty much the whole day.
That's
Which I actually
first for you.
it was actually when I win every time I win the die roll, I always slam first. I always prefer to go first with this deck, which we can talk about after I'm done with the matchups, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I always prefer to go first myself. Um, so round six was Luis. That was Blue Sukin Anonymity. Shout out these guys, these folks. They were great players. Round seven was Cloud, who was top 16 at the end. That was Blue Roy Mustang. Round eight was Alex, who got second place, which this part kind of confused me. I beat him in round eight, lost to Ryza in round nine. I got fourth, he got second. A little confused on that, but
Bandai
that's how
make
it
it make
goes.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, just tiebreakers, you know. But anyhow, so shout out to all those folks. They were fantastic opponents. Played very well. But as far as the games went, I know round seven, Cloud was the other one where he was playing Blue Roy and saw I think like one Riza raid and zero Roys until like the very end of the game. The last turn he raided two Roys on me, but it was just way too late to matter at that point. So that was unfortunate for him. But and then yeah, round nine against the Lancelot, I unfortunately bricked for the first time on the day. I opened 5 cost, mulliganed it immediately, and then opened another 5 cost and said, "This is how we go out."
I think you need to play these
It's,
forecasts.
yeah. This is my time. It's just the dog looking at the sun meme. Just
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, that
that's how
is
it
one
goes.
of the unfortunate but expected circumstances of our game, right? If we didn't want
Mm-hmm.
RNG, we'd be playing chess, and that would be boring. So,
Yeah, everybody was dogging the head judge because he came over to us before we started and was like, I hope you guys have a great game. I hope nobody bricks because that's been happening at the last couple finals or whatever. And then I think it was like Cosmic or somebody was just like, "Why would you say that?" And then I opened my hand and brick, and they're all just like smacking him like, Why did you say that? Why did you curse this man?" I'm just like, it's all right, man.
nah, he
It
needs to be.
happens.
I'm joking. Nothing needs to like this. It's superstition doesn't exist. Let's
Uh,
not do that. But it sounds
uh,
like you had a very grueling matchup all the way to the top. If you didn't brick, how do you feel this deck performs into Lancelot?
I think it's a very tough matchup either way, but I do think in theory that I have the tools to be able to win it. It really is just going to come down to how quickly and reliably they get to the air cavalry. And I think in general with that deck, if they double air cavalry me, which he did, by the way, just spoiler alert, I did not draw well, but he double air cavalried me on like turn 4 or something.
It's
So
hard to beat that.
we were cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they do something like that, I feel like their win rate has to be like 90 something percent at that point because that's just damage 4 across my dome on turn 4. Even if I killed them, I'm at such a low life total, they can just like push up weenies and run me over from there. Like it's so hard to come back from a game like that. So,
Right.
but all things considered, I do think the deck has the tools at least. Toshiro, if I can freeze the energy line, and they have like Cecile's, the active energy generator, it cuts it off while she's frozen, so that cuts them off of 8 energy. So very winnable matchup, I think. But very, very tough as well. I have to see. We both have to see specific pieces, I guess. Draw really well, kind of thing.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I mean, I that is one of those matchups I keep like theory crafting in my head where like I can see the path to victory, but it's not an easy path to victory. It's a you have
That's
to
so.
try
That's
for it.
another matchup why I kept the one of Shinji in as well because Kenpachi can't touch air cavalry. He only hits the to 4K on the 2 AP
Yeah,
Kenpachi. But Shinji can rest anything 3,000 or higher. So if I just need to like push that last damage and they've got an air cavalry or even just a regular Lancelot that's at the 5K mark among the rest of their table, I guess I can just like play down Shinji as an active attacker while getting that out of the way, and that's good way to try and like close out that last damage or two that I might need to win the game.
okay. So let's live in a magical Christmas land right now where you have a time machine, you go back to the day before the event, you can adjust your list if you want to. Is there any changes that you would make after experiencing what you experienced at Gen Con? Or not Gen Con, at regionals?
I think So I unironically played Zero Totos. So I feel like Saji would probably be quote unquote unnecessary for my run. I could have cut all three of them if I wanted to play a third Yumachika and maybe like two copies of the two cost Shinji just to give
Mm.
impact to guys on demand or something. I don't know. Could have been a lot of things in that slot, but otherwise though, I think the list was pretty solid for right now. We're basically just waiting on the binder promos to take this deck to the next level. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And that's something we're going to be touching on here in just a moment. So,
yeah,
do you plan on going to any more regionals, or are you coasting
nope.
off of this victory and you're like, I have my invite, I'm good, I'm going to play at nationals?
I mean, God willing, I'm even able to make it to Vegas because, yeah, my mother and I own our local store, so I don't get to travel much at all. It was a blessing and a miracle I was even able to make it down Sunday for this event, let alone to waitlist in. So, yeah, definitely no more regionals for me. I will be saving up all of my favors to try to make it to Vegas for nationals.
Okay. So, we don't have to worry about anybody sniping what you want to play or anything. So, LA is happening. That's coming in about a month now, right? We are going to have Royo Kenshin and we are going to have Hunter x Hunter Volume 2. Do you think there's any different decks that people need to be looking out for in the new meta for LA? Like, if you were going to go to that, you need to start practicing against this. You need to be able to beat this. This is what you need to be aware of.
So I haven't gotten to like look over all of Rurouni Kenshin. I've just heard from the English side and the Japanese side that it's got some very, very strong decks. And from what I've seen, I would agree. Red Kenshin and Purple, whatever the snipe guy's name is, those decks look very, very strong. So definitely need. If I were going, I would have to actually study up on them. Thankfully, for my sake, I didn't have to for Dallas because that set was not legal, so I put it out of my head. Hunter x Hunter, I don't think that set's real competitively. No offense to anybody. It's I think I love this set. It's fun for slots and a lot of other things. And if there was a competitive deck, it probably would be slots. But yeah, I don't know how much of an impact that's really going to have on the established meta at this point, since we're talking about like a volume two for their set three relative to FMA, which is like set 40 something power creep wise. I mean, it's just not. I don't know.
Okay.
We need
So,
more.
look out for Kenshin and specified slots if they're insanely good and if they're insanely lucky.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's other decks in Hunter x Hunter. Don't get me wrong. I just wouldn't expect to see them at regionals or higher level event, especially not at like the top tables. But like honorable mentions, Bomber, one of my all-time favorite decks of Union
Oh,
Arena. It's just fun to play.
same here. It's amazing.
Um, Karapika, of course, is always there. I guess. I just think he's like arguably worse Lancelot at this point because he only pokes for one damage at a time. He doesn't have damage to anywhere.
It's a worse
And then,
Sinon, which is a worse Lancelot. Yeah.
yeah, and then Neon's a crazy card though. But
True. True.
and then what was the other one? Oh, the yellow Razor attack team or whatever it's called. That one I've heard is decent. I haven't actually gotten to like see it in action, but um, so I mean honorable mentions. I just I would not be studying up too hard on those matchups. But that's just me.
Okay. Well, that's what we wanted to know. Now, another thing, since you were the man who brought the spice, I want to know, come binder set for Bleach, do you think this deck will continue to be competitive in the NA meta, or do you think this is going to start falling off a little bit, or how do you feel about it? Like, how do you think it's going to be positioned?
I mean, I think nothing is going to get me off of this deck after that binder set until like solo leveling probably. Uh,
Okay.
I think this deck is insane. I think this deck is already very good. It's just kind of lacking in the consistency department, and once it gets that from the binder set, I think this deck is unreal. Genuinely.
A better color trigger, a better Kenpachi, scry cards, search the top three for. Yeah, it gets a
It's not even
lot.
so much like better Kenpachi, it's just that it's another Kenpachi that doesn't cost 2 AP, and I can develop it on the 3 energy slot instead of 4, but still get like the raid benefit of it. So it just fits into the curve so much better for getting to the raid on time.
Fair
Um,
enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
like the card's not bad, obviously. It just that's just like the main things about it. It's just being an extra name is huge.
Yeah. It's awesome. I kind of agree with you. I snap bought up all of those ones as soon as I could. Not all of them. I'm not a scalper. I bought up my
Oh
four
yeah, no,
that I
yeah. I bought my
want.
4. That was it.
And
Take
yeah,
my
I
$100,
am
Bandai. It's yours.
Yeah, yeah. Let me play my Unohanas finally.
I bought
And
it day
that's gonna
one before they even revealed what the effects were. They were like, "Oh, it's bleach cards with brand new artwork from Kubo." I was like, "Take my money. It's
9
yours."
of them are green. Let's go. Just-
I think it was like
s-
5 of them are green. Like
yeah, it was ridiculous.
they
I
didn't do
loved
any
it.
yellows. It's so
Uh,
sad.
a little sad, but it's fine. I think that covers just about everything I wanted to talk about. But please, Jesse, shout something out. What do you want to shout out?
First and foremost, of course, we got to give the shout out to God and to the Lord Jesus Christ for keeping me strong and looking after me all weekend. When I say that, just so everyone knows, I genuinely got about an hour and a half of sleep prior to that event that night. It was a miserable hotel experience. I'm not going to say anything against the hotel because it wasn't. They fixed it. It was fine. But I just had a very rough night. Okay, going into it, and so it was all by His grace and strength that I was, awake and cognizant to play that day as well as I did. But also shout out to, of course, my mother for closing our store, our locals, the Castle. We're in Tyler, Texas, small little town, and I say small. It's like a couple, like 100 or 200,000 people, but mid-sized town, whatever. Um, but that's our locals, the Castle. She closed our store, canceled Spider-Man and Mega Evolutions Pokemon pre-release for the day just to take me down so I could try to waitlist in, and I got in, and here we are. And so super grateful to her, and of course shout out to my family and friends and locals and everybody who's always supporting me and been so nice. So, and shout out to the tournament staff for running a great event. Honestly, that they kept it running. It was very smooth. It was nice. All the staff was friendly, and all the players I met were great competitors. Held a great attitude even when things weren't going their way. Like I said, with Jane and Cloud, who in their rounds didn't see much of anything pieces wise. They held a great attitude. So it's a blessing and an honor.
That is the absolute best thing about the UA community is how amazing, humble, and kind everybody seems to be. Be sure to check out the Facebook page to the castle down in the description below and like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Thanks.